We welcome Willie Desjardins to the program. Morning, Willie.
And how are you?
I am great. This is an exciting time of year. For most people, it's the off season, but you're still coaching, and your team is up 2-1 in the Calder Cup final.
Yeah, it's been a real good series. It's certainly getting late into June, but it's great to be coaching.
It is unbelievable at the travel that you have to undergo in the AHL to begin with, never mind in division and the commercial flights. Now the final, I believe you're about 5,000 kilometers apart, Austin, Texas, all the way to St. John's, Newfoundland.
Yeah, it was a long trip coming in, but it's good. It's the same for both teams, so it really isn't a factor.
How's your team playing, and how comfy are you with the series at 2-1 here with a big break before Game 4?
The team's playing good, but the only problem is the other team's real good as well. So it's a real close series. All three games could have gone the other way. So it's just a close series. So it's great to be leading 2-1, but comfortable, no. Still a lot of work to do.
How's it been in Austin? I remember chatting with you at a coaching conference in Vancouver. I believe it was last summer, and you're heading into that position, and there was a lot of unknowns and a lot of excitement. How has it been with the 2 seasons in Texas now? It's
been great. Austin's a really good city. It's nice in the wintertime. It's been warm for the last month and a half, so it's a really good place to coach. Good fan base, real nice arena. And I've got great players, and that's a big key. I have some really good people on the team, and whenever you get a coach, good people, good character players, and good players, it's nice.
I remember chatting with you, telling you were going to fall in love with a player by the name of Curtis McKenzie, who just went pro and was named Rookie of the Year. How big has Golden, British Columbia's Curtis McKenzie been for you this season?
He's been real good. He was a bit of a surprise. Like, he came in at the end of last year and maybe played a game or two. Maybe thought he'd be maybe a third or fourth line player. Didn't know exactly where he'd fill in, but he's had an unbelievable year for us. He's played, arguably our first line, and he's not being carried on the line like he's certainly contributed to the line. So he was a big surprise, and such a great character person. Like, he plays so hard, and he just has such a great attitude.
Who else has been big for you? Because as a guy that covered the AHL, I know that Travis Morin's been phenomenal, but that name might not mean a lot around here. This is a big team effort and a pretty deep group.
Yeah, we've had some real good performances. Some of the Western League guys. Ranford's had a real good playoffs for us. Dowling's been real good. Taylor Voss is in that group. Derek Meach, who played in Red Years, in there. Just trying to run through all the guys out of the West. And Taylor Peters, played in Portland. We've had a lot of good performances. Scott Glennie is in the group. So we've had a lot of real good performances from a lot of different guys.
It's an interesting final. We mentioned the travel and the huge time off. How do you approach a Wednesday game number 3 and a Monday game 4? I don't know that there's any precedent for doing this in a championship series.
It is quite a time off, but, after playing 3 and 4 with that long travel, one day is just a write-off. So, that's just like you don't do anything. So now we've really only got the 3, and we'll start getting ready again. Today's kind of a day just to get some of the guys back, and then we got 2 days to get ready. So it's really not that big of a break.
Tell us about the Dallas organization. It's been a big year of change. You've got a new general manager in Jim Nill, a new head coach for the big club. But a lot of these guys have been brought in over the Nieuwendyk era. I wonder how you look at the organization when you joined it versus now.
Well, it's always been a great organization. Tom Glardy's done a great job. Like, since he's come in, and Joe Nieuwendyk was really great to work for. He's such a good person, and just such a character guy, and Jim Nill's just been the same. Like, I've been really fortunate that way, and I think the team is, I think they're certainly going in the right direction. I think Jamie Benn has done a great job of being a leader of that group, and Lindy Ruff's come in and been really good. So I think it's a great organization to be part of. Lots of good people involved in it, and I think a group that's really moving in the right way.
I wonder in the mid-'80s when you started as an assistant with the University of Calgary, if you ever dreamed you'd be a Coach of the Year in the CHL, Coach of the Year in the AHL, and chasing a championship in just your second year with the Stars.
No, I didn't think that, but working for a guy like George Kingston, I was really lucky to work with him, and I learned so much from him. So I got to give a lot of credit to George.
Tell us about your overseas coaching experience. There's some weird destinations that don't fit with the rest. Saskatoon, Calgary, Medicine Hat, that's all Western Canada, but the Cebu Bears of Tokyo, my goodness.
No, Cebu was it was a great place. I enjoyed it. I also coached in Germany for a little while in the DL for not very long, probably only 3 weeks there, I think, and then the team went bankrupt. But I've had some really great experiences in a lot of different countries, and the biggest is, I've got to meet so many great people through the game.
What does the offseason look like for you? Hopefully you're lifting some hardware, but there is a home base here in a couple weeks, isn't there?
Yeah, I've come back to Medicine Hat for a little bit. It's a great place. Medicine Hat really treated me well. The Mazer family there was so good, and the fans in Medicine Hat were great. So it's a place we call home and come back to, and always enjoy their summers there.
Was that a tough decision? You spent a very significant amount of time there. You're closing in on a decade with the Tigers, and then an opportunity hops up with the Stars. How did you weigh that back and forth? Because clearly you were a guy that would have been almost a part of the fabric of the community there. You'd been around so long with their beloved Tigers.
Yeah, they're such a great organization, Bob Ridley. It really was a tough decision. I guess at the time I thought if I ever want to pursue a dream and try to go to the NHL, I have to make a move. It was just maybe tough to make that move out of junior. But as far as a place that treated me great, I couldn't have been treated better in any place. The fans are unbelievable there. So I was really lucky, and it was a tough decision, but decision I thought that maybe we, as a family, would have to take.
Who are the guys on this roster that you've got going that you think might be able to make an impact on that Stars club that I think surprised a lot of people in getting into the postseason? And they gave a real good shock to that Ducks team in the first round.
Yeah, I think we have, there's a few guys there. Like, Mackenzie's going to look that way in the future. Glennie's there. Alexic's on the back end more. Like, there's a lot of guys down, but you never know. Like, we had a guy, Antoine Roussel came in, and the most points he had in the American League was 17, I think, in his 2 previous seasons, and he's made quite a name for himself. So you really don't know which guys are going to go out and play well. It's more in their, how they want to do it, how they want to train. So I think there's a lot of guys with potential.
Jimmy Oleksiak's a guy that a lot of people will remember from the draft. He was right around the Flames' wheelhouse. I believe actually in 2011 he went 1 pick after the Flames took Sven Berchi. This guy's a towering defenseman. I was massively impressed, not with the size of the man, but his skill set. He is 6'7", 260 pounds, and he can dangle.
Yeah, he does a lot of good things. He's good with the puck, and he's a real good skater. And, I think sometimes when guys are that big, we forget that they're pretty young, and I think it just takes him a few years to mature. But I think once and I think it's just going to happen. I think once, well, I shouldn't say it never just happens, but I think he's on a good path, and if he keeps developing, then I think he could be, I think he could be a real good NHL player.
Willie, appreciate your time in the middle of this final championship series in the Calder Cup. We wish you and the Stars the best of luck, and really appreciate some time on a Friday afternoon with you in Newfoundland.
Sounds good, Ryan. You have a great day.
All right, that is Willie Desjardins, the head coach of the Texas Stars, up 2-1.